Hello everyone, I'm Suraj. As this is the day 9 of my training session, and I got a couple of questions in the form of assignment. So let's just quickly dive into it. So the first question here is explain testing pyramid in your own words with example. So yes, the testing pyramid is basically a framework which has been used by QA and developers, basically by QA, as it reduces the time to give the feedback to the developers, and also it improves the quality of the software or any project which we are into. As a pyramid has many layers, this testing pyramid has also a layers. Like firstly, from the bottom, if we are starting, it is unit testing. Then comes the API testing. Then we can say like automation testing. Then comes the manual, and lastly the UI, which means that the unit test cases should be written in maximum year. The unit testing, which means that we'll be testing each and every line of codes from the single line, or from the starting of line. We'll be testing each and every line of codes, and we'll be entering, or we'll be giving the input to the code itself to get the output or to see the functionality. Then moving on forward is API, or we can say like integration testing. It should be a little less than compared to the unit testing. So in API testing, you can say like API or the integration testing, which means the data flow will be testing in this testing strategy. According to this, there should be automation more compared to the manual. And lastly, the UI or GUI, which is a graphical user interface, will be testing the look and feel of the software. So yes, moving on to the next question. Explain difference between white box testing and black box testing. Uh, White box testing are basically done by developers, whereas the black box testing are done by the testers. So white box testing, as the name suggests, we can consider a white box or white plastic within which we can it can penetrate, or we can look into it. Whereas in black box testing, it is black, so we cannot look into it. It means in white box testing, we can see the codes, or here the source code is visible, and in this black box testing, the source code is not visible. And in white box testing, we'll be basically giving the inputs to the code itself as it is visible. But in black box testing, we'll be passing the inputs to the software when it is developed. So coming to this, white box testing is basically done before the development, I can say. But black box testing is started after the development of the software. Here in the white box testing, we can say like the programming knowledge is required, because we'll be giving the inputs to the source code itself. But in compared to black box testing, it is minimum, because in black box testing, there is, I can say, a decent knowledge of programming knowledge is enough. So moving on to the next question, what are non-functional testing? Explain with example why a particular testing is called as non-functional. So before going to the non-functional testing, we'll try to understand what is functional testing, because it is dead opposite of the functional testing. So functional testing, as the name suggests, will be testing the functionality of an application. Say we are developing a login functionality. It will be having a name field, and then the password, or email field and the password, then a login button. So we'll be giving inputs to the email field, then the password field, then click on login button. This will be the functional, or each and every component will be testing in the functional testing. But whereas in this non-functional testing, we'll be not looking towards how this is working, or how a particular feature is working, but we'll be looking morely, or we'll be tending more towards the performance of the application, whether it is able to withstand a particular stress or particular load. Here we can say like load as a particular number of members, or number of I can say number of users who have been joined, or who have been logged into the software. For example, if at a particular period of time, like say for a minute, if 10,000 users at a time they are giving request to this software, whether this is stable or whether this is able to handle this percent of load, this will be testing in the non-functional. So it is called as non-functional testing. So yes, moving on to the last question. What is stub and driver and the unit testing with the example? So yes, stub and driver, we can say like it is basically a dummy program which has been given instead of a module. Say for example, there is a module A and a module B. Say a module A is developed, but module B is not present or they have not been developed. So in place of module B, they'll be using a stub or the driver so that they'll get the output, which means that the stub or the driver is a dummy program or dummy code given, which can basically receive any request or which we can store the request, but it is not a actual code or actual program, so it can't generate anything. So it will just store and it can just receive the requests. As I said, that stub and driver both are dummy modules. So these are basically differentiated by a top-down approach and bottom-up approach. Say for example, if I take like in module A, or if I'm developing a software, say for module A, it is we are giving the input like A equals to 10 and B equals to 20, and module B is like C equals to A plus B, or module B is the additional operation which will be performed in that function. So yes, if the module A is present, like we have the input A equals to 10 and B equals to 20. So here will be coming from the top-down approach, which means here will be using the stub. But if the module A is not present, like input is not given, and the module B, which is the C equals to A plus B, or the additional operation is being present. So here we'll be going from bottom up approach. So in this bottom up approach, we'll be using the dummy program, which is the driver. So yes, thank you so much.